Hello and welcome to the Scatterable channel, and today let's go over what I think are some good PCs to build for the month of July that take advantage of the current Amazon Prime Week sales, as well as some Newegg Fantastech deals. And I'm also going to cover some individual PC part deals you guys might just be interested in as well, because not all of you guys are looking to build a whole PC. You might just be wanting that deal on that one missing PC component you've been waiting for, or you may be looking for an upgrade. Either way, we're going to be using the help of my website PCBuilds.gg for all of these various PC builds and deals, starting at $500. I kid you not, it's actually doable in 2025 because the Ryzen 5 5500 right here can be had for $62. I would have killed to have a CPU like this years ago at this kind of price that comes with 6 cores, 12 threads, and is overclockable. The only thing this processor is missing out on is the amount of L3 cache in comparison to the Ryzen 5600, but look at how much the Ryzen 5600 is. Basically double the price. So at half the price, this kind of performance per dollar is unbeatable for a budget gaming PC. And I would build a Ryzen 5000 system sooner than later because of the looming possibility of DDR4 RAM price increases as RAM manufacturers phase out DDR4 RAM in favor of DDR5. So if you wanted to build a very inexpensive Ryzen 5000 PC, now is not a bad time. That's what I'll say. It's not the end, but it's not a bad time. And paired with that Ryzen 5 5500 for our graphics card, believe it or not, there's actually something brand new for 116 bucks. Do you all remember the Radeon RX 5600 XT? I do. That's why I still have one in the studio. This was probably the most underrated 1080p gaming graphics card of 2020 and offered better frame rate per dollar than the RTX 2060. And you can pick up its little brother, the RX 5600, not the XT, for $116 brand new. If you needed a brand new graphics card for under $120, this is probably your best bet other than going used, which getting a used 5600 XT also isn't a bad idea. In case you didn't want this model here from this company you may not recognize, I think they'd be fine. But either way, as for the motherboard, there is a current discount happening for this B550 motherboard from MSI, the Pro VC. This has a Wi-Fi 6E chip. Oh my God, that fruit fly can go die somewhere. And then just a regular 1TB M.2 SSD for your boot drive and your game drive. There's no crazy deals on budget PC cases, but I've got this really nice Okinos one linked for 64 bucks. This is really good for the money given it comes with 4 ARGB fans. A 500 watt 80 plus bronze power supply is gonna be enough for this system. And yeah, a $500 gaming PC is doable in 2025, but I found this nice deal on this Cooler Master Hyper 212, which might be nice if you wanted a quality CPU cooler that's just a single tower, not a dual tower, that usually retails for about like $35, but can be had for about 10 bucks less. And this would do a good job. And also would be better than some of the really cheap Amazon CPU coolers you come across from time to time in the same price range. But now let's move up to $800. This is the next PC I want to cover because look at this. The 8400F, admittedly a slow CPU, is under $100. And even on AliExpress, it's not that bad. It's about what? $110? That's fine. I just think if you can get an 8400F for below 100 bucks, it's a no-brainer. And especially in the context of, see, they're for 95, and there's the 7500F, which is arguably better, but this can be had for about $45 more. So given that $45 difference, if you had to save the money for the 8400F, given it's below 100 bucks, I don't think you're missing out on much. And what that leaves room for you for is to get in this $800 gaming PC a fairly capable graphics card, like now, this discounted Intel Arc B580. Now, not the reference model, but we've got this Onyx Odyssey model, which is good. Quite a few people have used this exact graphics card before in black. You can also get it in white for $10 more for $280. This is the cheapest I've seen the B580 go for since December. And yeah, this is not bad. If you needed a $280 graphics card that was very capable at 1080p and 1440p, but most importantly, came with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. You weren't gonna get any better than this because other competing graphics card in this price range only come with 8. Those being the 5060 and the 9060 XT 8 gigabyte. So this is the price I like seeing the B580 at. I would like to see it at MSRP in the future, but at this moment, given the uncertain future with tariffs and potential production issues, maybe with Intel Arc graphics cards, since they aren't produced in the same quantities as Radeon or NVIDIA cards, by all metrics, this is a good price for a brand new B580 if you want one. But for the motherboard, there is a deal happening right now for this last generation. I wouldn't call it last generation though, because it's still quite good. ASRock B650 Pro RS Wi-Fi in micro ATX. Also kind of nice. If I were you, and I'll actually be doing this in a future PC build, I would pick up that Onyx B580 that I just showed you guys, but in white right here, and I would pair it up with this ASRock motherboard. Sorry, there's flies in my house right now. It's kind of annoying. And yeah, this would look nice. And this will work with the 8400F out of the box. However, for the RAM, we do need to make a price cut here. So we have some slightly slower 6000 megahertz CAS latency 36 memory. This for 70 bucks is quite frankly astonishing. It probably doesn't get any better than this. You can get a faster kitted RAM that's 6000 megahertz with a CAS latency of 30, but do note you can always overclock and lower the CAS latency of your RAM manually in the BIOS, but that does require work. But nonetheless, that'll do the job with a DRAM-less 1TB drive from Team Group, another affordable micro ATX case, another power supply at like 650 watts is what you just need for that 8400F and the B580, and yeah, not a bad $800 gaming PC. But if you wanted a quality air cooler that is 2 towers, not 1 tower, there's this Be Quiet Pure Rock Pro 3 going for below 50. And usually this thing is no lower than $65 every day of the year. So it's cool to see Be Quiet actually offering some of their discounts, but for real this time, because usually I see coolers like this go for above 50. And more or less, this isn't going to probably be the best performing CPU cooler for $45, but it'll surely be a quiet one. Hence the name Be Quiet. Oh, and by the way, all these PCs and these deals will be linked down in the description below. Sorry if I haven't mentioned that yet. Along with this $1,000 gaming PC. This is basically the same one that I built 1 month ago, but there are a few discounts on a few components I briefly want to highlight. And I've already tested this gaming PC. It does 1440p gaming with ease. So again, Ryzen 5 7500F, I get no lower than that for 144. That's really good, but there is a good discount happening on the Ryzen 5 9600X. You can pick one up for $165 on Amazon. That's pretty slick. Not gonna lie, I never saw the last generation 7600X ever go for below 185, even during Black Friday. So this could be a better deal than Black Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if come Black Friday, this is 175. Maybe AMD is having issues selling the CPU because that is so low. At that point, I pick up a 9600X, probably over a 7500F for only about $25 more. Stick it to this B850 motherboard, which is also on a discount. Specifically this Gigabyte B850 Gaming X model, you can find it for the same price on Amazon and Newegg, I think, but I got it here on Walmart for $160. Oh, but I totally skipped over the graphics card. You can pick up the Radeon RX 9060 XT, 16 gigabytes, for a little bit less, now being just above MSRP for $360 for this Sapphire model card, which is the one that I've had linked in the PCBuilds.gg link for forever, because it's Sapphire, it's a good brand, and this is the cheapest I've ever seen it. It usually is about $380, but at $360, this is only $10 above MSRP and is a quality entry-level card. I did see some other entry-level 9060 XTs in the same price range, like one from ASRock and ASUS, but I can tell you from firsthand experience, those cards don't have the same level of entry-level quality as like a Sapphire or Power Color card, because Sapphire, Power Color, and XFX specialize in AMD cards, so they're usually gonna bring their best when it comes to their cheapest models. So it's good to see Sapphire giving a discount on their cheapest RX 9060 XT 16 gigabyte, which is an incredible entry-level 1440p gaming graphics card with 16 gigabytes of RAM, access to FSR 4, and surprisingly good ray tracing performance for the money. it actually, in some ways, gives NVIDIA a run for their money. Which I should note is quite interesting because maybe you can thank the 9060 XT for doing this, but you can get the 5060 Ti 16GB finally at MSRP. So if you wanted a slightly faster graphics card with better ray tracing performance all around, for now at MSRP with 16GB of VRAM, this ain't that bad. I'll have this linked in the description down below. I like this. NVIDIA, I would not expect NVIDIA to do this, but for once, thank you for this discount. This is pretty nice. I want to see you do it for the 5070, the 5070 Ti, the 5080, and yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, the rest of the build is pretty straightforward. The RAM is the RAM. It's got a slight discount at $87 from its usual $90. The memory here, the 1TB M.2 SSD is slightly cheaper. It was $75, now it's $73. And then for the case, you can go with the Leanly V100. That's what I used in the build guide. But if you wanted a deal, you've got this Montech Air 903 Max on Newegg with this $16 off promo code for 60 bucks on the dot, with 3 front 140 ARGB fans and another, I think, 140 on the rear. So it's gonna give you all the airflow you'd possibly need for the lowest temps out of the box at 60 bucks, no questions asked. But if you wanted to pair up a monitor with any of those builds, like the $1,000 one, which is good for 1440p, here's a really inexpensive 27-inch monitor from KTC. They're a brand that is verifiable. They do make good monitors. That is at 240 Hertz. But the catch is that it uses a VA panel. So not IPS, definitely not OLED. So visually, this may not be the most pleasing monitor to look at versus others, but it will give you the performance for a very, very good price. It also has a 130% sRGB, which is quite surprising for a monitor that's this inexpensive, so fair play. But if you wanted something with an IPS monitor, this LG UltraGear 27-inch is the cream of the crop. There's actually a monitor that is better than this, and it's got an OLED panel, but this with IPS for $285 from LG is gonna be a quality monitor if you wanted to invest in something that'll last a long time. Or I guess any monitor really nowadays is gonna last a long time. And lastly, we have this $1,200 gaming PC because I didn't find that many great of deals on higher end graphics cards other than one, which we'll cover in a little bit. But once again, stick it to the 7500F or 9600X. They'll handle even like a 5070 Ti or 5080 without bottlenecking at 1440p, even 1080p for the most part. But for GPUs, I've got two options right here. You can get this RX 9070 from Newegg from Sapphire for $600. This is the lowest I've ever seen it. But more surprisingly, and it finally decided to come back in stock, and I don't know if you'd even consider this a deal, but you can get the RTX 5070 from PNY on Walmart.com only for MSRP. $550. And see, this isn't by Newegg, this is by Walmart. So yeah, that $550 is for real. Now, what would I choose between the two? I'd go with the RX 9070. The 16GB of GDDR6 memory, it's too good to pass up. The 12GB on the 5070 is gonna show its age in a few years. You're gonna run into games at 1440p that are gonna be too graphically demanding, require too much from the VRAM, and it could run into micro stutters or lowered performance, which is something you won't find with the RX 970, not just having more VRAM, but also being faster in rasterization performance and offering the same ray tracing performance per dollar as the 5070. It's just all around a better card. Other than that though, BA50 motherboard, same memory, same everything else, and that's more or less it. But if you wanted a slightly faster graphics card, there is this Zotac RTX 5070 Ti for $830 that is still above MSRP, but this is the cheapest I've seen a 5070 Ti on Amazon go for in quite a while. Actually, this might be the lowest I've ever seen it ever. But let's say you wanted to ditch the fact that you didn't want to use either a 7500F or a 9600X. I found, get this, a Ryzen 7 7700X for $227. That's ridiculously good. This is probably the CPU deal of Prime Week. It's not gonna get any better than this. The 9600X for $165 was really good, but this being 8 cores, 16 threads, offering basically the same performance as a 9700X, this is pretty unbeatable. The 7800X3D for $341 is also really good. If you wanted an X3D CPU on the cheap, although this isn't a prime deal per se on Amazon's website, this is the cheapest I've seen a 7800X3D, not just this entire year, but probably ever. And between this and a 9800X3D, I would not feel guilty going with this if it meant you were gonna save about, I think, $140. So this at $341 is a really good high-end CPU deal that could be plugged into any of the AM5 builds I've covered so far. Because after all, this is only an 8-core, 16-thread CPU. It's not gonna chug tons of power. But for the CPU cooler, you could go with an air cooler, or you can go with a Montech Hyperflow Silent 360, which I used in an upcoming PC build, and I really liked it because it didn't have RGB and all the cables were pre-wired. So in terms of cable management, this thing is already done out of the box. So it's incredibly convenient to install and use, and it looks good, performs good, and is silent. Like, so what if it doesn't have RGB fans? It's gonna give you the performance and the looks, and it's gonna be super easy to install, especially for first-time PC builders. Oh yeah, and Montech are also offering some pretty nice deals on these new power supplies that they just launched that I also used in that build guide I was just talking about. These also come with the latest protections and technologies, so if there were a PSU tier list that were to rank these, I wouldn't be surprised if they're ranked pretty high up, because Montech do collaborate with Seasonic, and Seasonic are really well known. But yeah, 8,150 watts for 85. It's good. 1,050 watts for 105 bucks, also quite good. And then 1,200 watts for how much? 125? That is, there's other PSU brands that would give you 1,200 watts, but for at minimum 150. So that for 125 is also a good deal. And yes, they are fully modular. And if you want to go full out for a monitor on that kind of a high-end build with a higher end graphics card, to kick things off, you have another 1440p 240Hz monitor, but with a QD OLED panel. So this is visually going to be the best looking so far for these monitor deals, but you can take it up one step further if you really wanted to. If you had a graphics card even faster than a 5070 Ti, and you can get this Alienware 360Hz 1440p monitor, 27-inch, also QD OLED. Like, okay, so I think this is overkill. I'd rather save the money on the 240Hz panel that I just covered earlier. But I mean, if you really wanted to go all out and have that buttery smooth, completely no lag at all gaming experience on a very nice looking monitor, you got this $600 option here. But I think even this is too much, even for me. Otherwise, that's all we got to cover here for deals, which once again, they'll all be linked in the description down below if you want to check any of them out. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like, and you might as well subscribe, because the next time we're going to do a video like this, actually I lied, maybe you don't, because we're not going to do something like this again probably until September. So it might be a little while. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and this is the Skydival channel, signing out.